Coming up this morning on MetroNews Talkline, more discussion on data centers and what the future holds. Plus, Governor Patrick Morrisey coming up on a deadline to make a decision on more than 100 bills that completed the legislature. This is MetroNews Talkline. We are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning. Welcome into MetroNews Talkline. Dave Wilson, TJ Meadows. We are in the Encova Insurance Studios. Of course, I'm in Morgantown. TJ's in Charleston. We appreciate you being part of the program. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia, Ethan Collins is our radio producer. Or if you are tuned in on the MetroNews television app, YouTube, Facebook Live, Jake Link is handling the video side of things this morning. Coming up a little bit later on in the program, we're going to be talking about data centers. In fact, we're going to be talking a lot about data centers this morning. Ashley Horst, Stubblefield Institute, will tell us about a panel discussion that'll be taking place tonight over at Shepherd University, how the FBI Center continues to be a major economic driver in north central West Virginia. We got basketball to talk about. Herd women, WVU men. WVU men will be playing Thursday night against Stanford. And, of course, the Marshall women advancing to the Fab Four in the women's NIT. We'll get into that discussion coming up a little bit later on this hour. With all that, say good morning, TJ Meadows. He is the foreman at the Radio Ranch in Charleston. Good morning, sir. Oh, but
That's a new title.
There we go. Start again.
The foreman. I like that.
Yeah, why not?
I'm
just going to keep throwing titles until one sticks. Whichever one you like, you just, let me know, and that's the one we'll go with from now on. Although I do like foreman.
Yeah, foreman's nice. I'm trying to make sense. The market going gangbusters this morning. Dow popping 600 points. Wall Street Journal reporting that Trump tells aides he's willing to end war without reopening Hormuz. So the market, boom, up on that. This thing's like a seesaw. It's so hard to figure out where we are. I'm trying my best, but I'm struggling.
Meanwhile, gas prices are topping, $4 a gallon now nationally?
Yes.
That's $3.99 here in Morgantown this morning when I rolled into Saberton.
Yeah, it's approaching $4 here as well, and probably only going to go up because oil, at least this morning before this story broke, oil was going up again, domestic oil and international oil. So I just don't think the American people will have the patience for it long term, especially at the pump.
I totally agree with you. We are very impatient, and if it's going to be $4, $4.50, $5, whatever it's going to be at the pump, it could be interesting at the polls. Let's put it that way. By the time we get to know if this continues on into November. We'll get into that a little bit more coming up a little bit later on. Data centers are going to continue to be front and center as a topic for years to come here in West Virginia. Last week, Google announced it had purchased 1,700 acres in Putnam County. Will be putting in and developing a data center near Buffalo. Of course, there's the one being developed in Berkeley County. There is one proposed for Tucker County, and there are other projects that are certainly in the works. West Virginia attempting to attract more. Jim Estep is with the High Technology Foundation. We'll dive into some questions about data centers, some myths, and what the future holds. Jim joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Jim, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you coming on. Is there anything in our lifetimes that is even comparable to the way AI and consequently the data centers that go with it will impact the way we live, the way we do business, and our economy? Is there anything even comparable to that during our lifetimes?
TJ, I don't think there is. The closest maybe comes with the introduction of the internet in the 90s, the World Wide Web, maybe the microchips or the semiconductors of the late 60s. But I personally believe that this is more transformative than any of those things combined.
Hey, Jim. Good morning. TJ here. I want to talk a little bit about this idea of the agentic web. That's new to me. It may be new to our listeners, but it seems like that is driving a lot of what is happening. So explain to us what the agentic web is and why it is fueling all the pop-ups of these data centers.
Good question. And I will try to explain a very complicated subject, but basically, one of the criticisms of data centers is that they don't employ a lot of people. And, when you're talking about the day-to-day operations, I guess that's kind of true. But what no one seems to be talking about is the reason we're having this data center boom in the first place. And to your point, it's because artificial intelligence is fundamentally changing how computer systems and the internet not only operate, but are fundamentally designed. Just to give you an example, imagine, you have a business and you have a business problem and you need to solve that problem. You pull your staff together and you break down the problem and you give everybody an assignment to work on a piece of the problem, and they all go off and they'll use whatever software or the internet or whatever to accomplish their task. But with AI, or more specifically, agentic AI, a business can now simply assign the goal of solving that problem to an AI agent. And that agent will go off into what's called the agentic web, which is the new internet, and use its reasoning capabilities and whatever to try to achieve that goal. Now, in the first example where you have your staff, you basically have humans in the loop. So the speed of that system was bottlenecked by those humans. Now, in the agentic AI example, there's minimal humans in the loop. So you don't have that significant business human bottleneck. And, with an AI agent, the round trip time between when an agent reasons and makes a decision and then takes an action, it's measured in milliseconds. So, even at the speed of light, if you have data traveling hundreds of miles through fiber optic cables, the delay is going to add up. And if you have a very complex agentic AI system, those delays can compound. So, and I'm confident that virtually every business is eventually going to be agentic AI. And, for these businesses, if they have compounding delays in their systems, it's going to have serious competitive consequences. So the goal in the future agentic AI world, which we're all going to be a part of, it's going to be a competitive business requirement to eliminate or minimize that latency, or what they call digital friction in the industry.
So Jim, with agentic AI, what kind of pressures does that come with as far as energy usage, as far as computing power required to perform these very complex tasks?
The computational requirements to power agentic AI, both from where you're building AI products, for example, like a large language model or something they call a vector database, is enormous. And so, and you see companies like NVIDIA meeting that demand and driving that demand, but power is key. And, that really excites me because, electricity is going to be the most important commodity in the business world going forward. And West Virginia, because of its significant natural gas reserves and some of this new microgrid legislation, I think we're more uniquely positioned to take advantage of that than anybody else in the country.
So talk to me about proximity, because if I understand you correctly, talking about latency, if we have the data centers here, the end user, those agents, however those are housed, is it probable that we could attract more of those entities here if they are closer to the data center than further away? So it's not just data centers as the opportunity, it's what comes after them. Do I have that right?
You do. And physical proximity to these AI data centers is going to be a big deal. And you think of these data centers as kind of like gravity wells. They're going to attract tech companies, industry, research institutions, startup, anyone that's going to require the lowest possible latency to run whatever agentic system they have, which is going to be everyone, is going to want to be physically close to it. And I know cloud computing is one of the key enablers of agentic AI. And when you think of cloud computing, it's in the cloud, it could be anywhere, but that paradigm's shifting big time in this new agentic world. Businesses are going to want to be reasonably close to these resources, and that's going to be important for us to have these data centers here. It's kind of like back in the old days when cities and industries grew up around rivers and things like that. It's the same kind of concept, only it's going to be around these data centers.
Jim Estep is joining us with the High Technology Foundation. Jim, one of the concerns I hear from folks as we develop these data centers is that technology advances so quickly, this technology will be obsolete, and we're going to be left with these big shells of buildings, these big complexes that there's nothing there. One, does it move that fast? But two, are data centers going to be obsolete anytime in the near future?
I don't believe so. I think data centers are going to evolve, and they're going to become more complicated and more complex, but the physical shell where they will be is we're going to have more of them. It's just no way, based on what I see, that that's going to happen.
Resources are of paramount concern. Let's start with water. Many people I talk to are fearful that this will exhaust water resources. Can that be mitigated?
Absolutely. For example, we have a pretty sizable data center activity here at the park, and we have a closed loop water system. We have a 25,000 gallon tank that we recycle the water. And I think as long as data centers follow that approach, it will be a non-issue. Now, the problem has come from places like Northern Virginia, where these data centers came in. It was just so much easier to plug into the municipal water system because they were so advanced because of the populations of those regions. So it was almost like being lazy. For West Virginia, it's an easy problem to solve. Just require all the data centers to have their own on-site tanks of water, and you won't have an issue.
Jim Estep joining us, High Technology Foundation. What about the energy supply? We do have gas, we have coal, we are an energy state, Jim, but the concern, again, from people is that you increase the demand, you have increased demand, you have the same supply, prices go up. Is that a fair concern?
I think that West Virginia, as I said earlier, is uniquely positioned to eliminate that problem altogether because we can now build microgrids. If you build microgrids to service these individual data centers, and they keep them, as they say, behind the meter, so they're not on the grid, but they produce the power to power the data center, you won't have these issues. If anything, under the microgrid legislation, these microgrids are allowed to provide power to the main grid if they're producing extra. That will serve to reduce prices. So again, West Virginia's natural gas reserves, the microgrid legislation, I think it's a win-win-win.
People don't like the noise, the light. Those are two of the big ones that we also hear. You're familiar with the industry far more than I am. How can those be addressed, if at all?
Again, these reputations come from the data centers mostly that were set up in Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia does have a problem with data centers. They plop these things down in the middle of communities everywhere. They're tightly compacted. So just regular lighting on these data centers is intrusive to the communities. There are also virtually no buffers between a house and these data centers. So the noise just echoes through these communities. And so that unique circumstance of Northern Virginia, I think, has created a false impression of the issues associated with lighting and noise. The lighting can be managed. It can be focused down. Any noise concerns could be easily mitigated with, for example, either evergreens or noise walls, and it's really not an issue. I think it's, in my personal opinion, based on what I've seen, an exaggerated concern.
Well, Jim, this is more of a thought than a question to you, Jim. We are at a position here in West Virginia we can learn from those mistakes in Virginia
Absolutely.
or the mistakes that have been made in Ohio and mitigate those concerns as we develop these data centers that you say are going to be needed if we're going to take this next big leap in AI technology.
Absolutely. We're talking about a hundreds of trillions of dollars industry that we are uniquely positioned to exploit. And we have to move aggressively on this and do what we need to do to make it happen.
So net benefit, that's what I'm hearing you say there. Yes, there may be drawbacks, but overall, this is a net benefit to West Virginia.
There is no drawback or con that cannot be easily mitigated. And the upside is huge because, we have to do things that are going to build a business case or business cases for new industry to come to our state, especially industry associated with the knowledge sector. We've been 50th in educational attainment for 50 years. It's been our biggest handicap. It's keeping us from participating effectively and efficiently in the national economy. This is one way where we can once and for all solve that problem, and we have to capture it.
Interesting stuff. Jim Estep, High Technology Foundation. Jim, we appreciate it. Thank you so much this morning.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Take a break. Come back. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Worried about paying for college? MetroNews is proud to present the 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program, where one high school junior in West Virginia will win a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College, including room, board, tuition, and fees. For details, go to WBB.MetroNews.com and click the Apply Now button. Deadline is May 3rd. The 2026 West Virginia Scholar Program, presented by Greer Industries and the West Virginia Hospital Association. Go to WBMetroNews.com and apply today by May 3rd.
Golf Week called Pete Dye Golf Club one of America's best modern courses. Golf Digest recently called Pete Dye one of America's 100 greatest courses, and Pete Dye calls it 18 of the most exciting and memorable holes I've ever built on one course. Pete Dye Golf Club invites you to join the only course named after the legendary designer himself. National, corporate, and local memberships available now for a limited time. Visit PeteDye.com to learn more. Come play where the Mountaineers play at Pete Dye Golf Club.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Across West Virginia, hospitals are always here, healing, helping, and standing strong for our communities. Hospitals save lives and build livelihoods. They're among our largest employers, with a passionate workforce of 54,000 West Virginians. Hospitals are economic drivers, contributing close to $17 billion to our state's economy and working to ensure access to care for all. From life-saving moments to wellness support, West Virginia hospitals keep our state healthy, our families strong, and our future bright.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Virginia. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304-TALK, 304 is the text line. You can always give us a call at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Bobby Iddings is going to join us coming up a little bit later on this hour. He had the call last night on ESPN Plus of Marshall women's basketball's win over Army. Shut out Army in the fourth quarter to advance to the Fab Four in the women's NIT. Bobby will join us coming up just a little bit later. Ashley Horst on the other side of the news break. Ashley with Stubblefield Institute, tell us about an event coming up tonight over at Shepherd University, a panel discussion dealing with, wait for it, data centers. That is sold out. You can't actually go to it, but we are going to have that streaming live at WBB MetroNews TV. Wow, that was so hard to say. .com and on the MetroNews television app coming up tonight. And as Jim pointed out, TJ, these things aren't going away. No. They're not. They are going to be part of business. They're going to be part of the economy. They're going to be part of everyday life. They already are. I mean, I've got an iPad. I've got an iPhone. You've got, your computer's pulled up there. They're already part of everyday life. We can either get in the game and be ahead of it, or we can be sitting here 20 years from now saying, man, why didn't we get in on that when we had the opportunity?
They will only proliferate. And he is exactly right when he talks about having the energy here. That's the one thing we've never had. We've had the energy, but we've never had end use opportunity here. We can get that with a data center. So let's make megawatts. Let's use it here, a facility that is taxed here. And then because of proximity, other people come because of that latency issue that he talks about. It's starting to click here for me a little bit. The more I learn about this, extraordinary opportunity.
We will
continue
to
seize.
Yeah, we'll continue that discussion. Ashley Horst with Stubblefield Institute going to join us next, and we'll get into what job opportunities may lie ahead coming up in the second hour of the program. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, and 304-TALK 304 is the text line. This is Talkline on Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Jenkins. The school board in Kanawha County, the state's largest school district, set to make some tough decisions.
A vote will be taken today by the board to either accept the recommendation that certain school positions be cut or to reinstate those positions. For the past 2 weeks, members have been hearing from employees whose positions are up for termination. Willie Schilling is a first-grade early childhood classroom assistant teacher at Ann Bailey Elementary School, and she spoke in front of the board Monday. She says this school is home for her and her family.
I live 5 minutes from Ann Bailey. That's my family's community, and a school was their community.
Schilling, if her position is cut, could be transferred to another school. The board will vote on the cuts this afternoon at 4. I'm Morgan Pemberton, WVMetroNews.com.
One of the many bills awaiting a decision this week from Governor Patrick Morrisey is the measure that would provide $12 million a year in funding to EMS systems. West Virginia EMS Coalition Executive Director Chris Horst says the funding will save lives.
Hopefully this $12 million will start to help with the cost of readiness. You know, having that ambulance sitting there in that rural community, waiting for that 911 call to come with a staff on board, because you know, we can't wait when an emergency occurs.
Governor Morrisey, by the way, on the road today. News conference set for noon at the Canyon Rim Visitors Center at the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve near Fayetteville. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Come on, Liam, let's go. Get open. Come on, go for it. Wake up, Liam. Oh, come on, use your head. Gotta want it. Dominate.
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the WVSSAC and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
A two-day road trip for the state Supreme Court. The justices are at Kaiser High School this morning, hosting 300 students from Mineral and Hampshire counties. The students will hear oral arguments on a few cases and learn about the appellate process. The High Court will have its annual visit to the WVU College of Law in Morgantown tomorrow. McDowell County teacher due in magistrate court today for a preliminary hearing. 27-year-old Tyree Baker of Kimball, charged earlier this month with committing sex crimes against the student. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
Coming up, we'll talk about the Herd's win in the women's NIT last night. Shutout Army in the fourth quarter. Bobby Iddings had the call on ESPN Plus. He will join us next segment. Later this evening, the Stubblefield Institute is hosting an event called Data Centers in Our Backyard, Jobs, Infrastructure, and Community Impact. It's a panel discussion. It'll be hosted at Shepherd University tonight. It's from 6 to 7:30. We will have live video streaming coverage of the event tonight on the MetroNews TV app. Joining us with the Stubblefield Institute this morning for more is Ashley Horst. Ashley, good morning. Thanks for taking some time today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So are we going to get all the questions or answers to the burning questions about data centers tonight in this panel discussion? What can we expect?
So we are hoping to answer as many of those questions as possible. Leading up to this discussion, we did solicit questions from the public, as we will not be taking live audience questions because we did want to get as many questions as possible to shape a really great discussion where we can address the most common questions, allay the most common fears, or share information so people can make factual and informed decisions based on the information that is being shared from our representatives of state and county government. We also have a representative from one of the data center companies joining our panel, and then a community advocate group will be sharing their perspective as well.
Can you give us a sense of what those questions are so far? Give people an idea of what they may hear tonight?
Absolutely. I don't think any of the questions will be a surprise to anyone. They're the ones that we're seeing every day on Facebook. There are questions about utilities, about electricity and water capacity. There are questions about what is happening with development? How is it being shared between the states and counties? There are questions about sustainability. And then, of course, there's the health impact of, possible noise pollution, light pollution, effects to the groundwater. There are so many questions that are just bubbling up every day, and we've done our best to capture as many of them as we can so we can bring a really great discussion to address many of these issues.
Ashley Horst with the Stubblefield Institute, Shepherd University, joining us here on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Who are some of the panelists that will be part of the discussion?
Absolutely. So we have Chris Morris, who is the Data Economy Director in the Governor's Office. We have Kara Keys from the Jefferson County Commission. We have Dado Slezak from QTS, which is the data center company building at the Berkeley-Jefferson County line. And then we have Amy Margulies from Tucker United.
Tell me about the goal here. Some people may say, oh, well, we're trying to promote data centers. That's not what you all are doing. You are trying to educate, correct?
Absolutely. So as my colleague Allison Mee said yesterday, we're not talking data centers good or data centers bad. We're just simply trying to share information so people can make informed decisions about these massive projects that are happening literally in many of our backyards.
How much interest was there when you first put this out that, hey, we're going to do this, we're thinking about it? How much interest was there initially?
So this event, we don't sell tickets. We allow people to reserve tickets. They are free of charge, but it did sell out in 15 hours. So there was a lot of interest. We have a waiting list, and that was about 3 weeks ago. And since then, more data center projects have been announced. We've gotten more phone calls, and unfortunately, we are at capacity in the auditorium. However, anyone who wants to hear the discussion or view the discussion can do so on West Virginia MetroNews TV.
I don't want to put more work on you, Ashley, but I think you could plan on having another one of these and another one of these, because we're going to continue to ask questions, and I feel that those questions will change, right, as dynamics change. So there's going to be more questions that come into play. So do you foresee this being something that you guys do again moving forward?
I would not be surprised. So yesterday, the panelists and the moderator, Steve Pearson from the Observer Weekly, who is co-sponsoring this event, is moderating. And we were having a pre-event meeting to go over the format and make sure everybody's met each other, which none of them were strangers to each other already. And it was interesting as we were getting into some discussion, there were questions that were coming up, and I was hearing that would be a great topic for another discussion. And not that they don't want to address them now, it's just there is so much to discuss that I would not be surprised if there is a second discussion that maybe takes a chunk of this and focus is able to drill down more deeply into something such as microgrids and what that means versus data centers without microgrids. And so it's such a multifaceted issue that we could probably do a whole series all year long on just data centers. But we are looking forward to tonight's event to kick it off.
It is the Data Centers in Our Backyard: Jobs, Infrastructure, and Community Impact. The panel discussion begins at 6 o'clock tonight. It's 6 to 7:30. It's being hosted at Shepherd University by Stubblefield Institute. And, of course, if you were not able to reserve a ticket in one of those 15 hours right after it was announced, we will have live video streaming coverage on the MetroNews TV app, and there will be local radio coverage in the Eastern Panhandle on stations like WEPM, Metro News affiliate, WICL, WLTF, and WXDC as well. So multiple ways you can take in the panel discussion tonight. Ashley, best of luck. Hope it turns out great tonight. And hope to have more. Well, I mean, it's easy for me to say. I don't have to organize them. Hope to have more of these in the future.
We hope to also.
All right. Ashley Horst, Stubblefield Institute. Thank you so much, Ashley. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And again, we will have live video streaming coverage tonight, 6 to 7:30. That'll be on the MetroNews TV app. The Data Centers in Our Backyard: Jobs, Infrastructure, and Community Impact panel discussion. Up next, we'll talk a little basketball. Bobby Iddings, ESPN Plus, joins us next.
This generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles, scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia Legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near Consider that benchmark. It provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more. Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. It makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WBB Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WBB Medicine.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
All the sports West Virginia is talking about.
Nikki Izzo-Brown, coach of the nationally ranked WVU women's soccer team.
I think they're just having a very good understanding of each other.
Join Kyle Wiggs, Brett Howe, and Coach Hunter weeknights for Sportsline on Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
On the next State of Minds. I came here to Morgantown, the WVU. I wanted to play football. Tried to walk on, but I was humbled very quickly. So I joined the WVU forestry team. What my father taught me was the importance of hard work and the importance of sweat equity.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
We'll get to some of your texts coming up. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. Phones are always open. 800-765-TALK as well. Last night, Marshall women's basketball competing in the women's NIT defeated Army in the round of 8, 82-65, a tale of two halves. And in the fourth quarter, the Herd defense got nasty, shut out Army in the final quarter. Bobby Iddings had the call on ESPN Plus last night. He joins us on Metro News Talkline this morning. Bobby, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are you guys?
Doing well. I hope Julie Folks, whatever she said at halftime, she recorded that and has it for future use because, man, this game flipped in the second half.
Well, yeah, it did. And you mentioned it. Marshall obviously outscores Army in that fourth quarter, and it really started in that third quarter. But I think a lot of what you saw was just Army started to miss a couple shots. I mean, this was a team that came into the season, they were all about the defense, 55 points per game. And I made the joke on the broadcast last night. Imagine that Army about defense, right? Like, what do you know? It's a real bad dad joke. But at the same time, they only averaged giving up 55 points per game on the year. And they were able to shoot the ball, basically shoot the lights out, 60% in the first half, 50% from 3-point range. And you thought maybe they would slow down at some point, and I think that's what you finally saw in that fourth quarter was just ran out of gas a little bit. Finished 0 for 7, their last 17 from the floor, and second time this year now the Marshalls had a team scoreless for an entire quarter. I think that's the most important part and most impressive part is that's the second time. Marshall did the same thing back in the middle of December against Eastern Kentucky as well, and just shows you the in-game adjustments, to your point, that Julie Folks was able to make.
Yeah, you look at the numbers here, and by the end of the game, I mean, Marshall just outshot Army, especially at the foul line. 70% for Marshall, Army 60. I mean, they outgunned them, plain and simple.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened. And Marshall switched up to a 1-3-1. Julie Folks loves to play what she calls kind of a 2-3 hybrid zone. And the way if you watch it play, it's not your conventional 2-3 zone where you rotate across the bottom, shift across the top, kind of that 2-3 zone you're taught from elementary school on. There's a little bit more of a hard press out on the shooters on the perimeter, but they'll also at times they'll bring one of the two guards that are out at the elbow. They'll bring them up top and really pressure the ball. So it's a 2-3 zone, yes, but it does have some variations to it. But last night they went to a 1-3-1, and they went to a 1-3-1 matchup as well, where you could tell that Army was able to beat Marshall through the high post for a lot of that game. There were a lot of drop downs to the block as well. Marshall went to that 1-3-1. And it just gave Army fits in that fourth quarter. And you saw a little bit in the third, kind of the signs of it. But to your point, going to the free throw line early as well, Marshall was 7 for 12 at one point in that one. So if you really do the math, that's 7 for 8 down the stretch. The only miss was a Peyton Ilderton miss with about 25 seconds left in that one. And that's not something she does very often, missing from the line. It was a really, really nice win for Marshall, just being able to come back. And again, you go on a 23-0 run to finish the entire game. That's really what this team has been able to do. They will go on large runs at times throughout the season. And this is the winningest four-year class in Marshall history now. Ran some numbers yesterday. 84 wins now in 4 years for this senior class. You look at Peyton Ilderton, Meredith Mayer, obviously the West Virginia natives, Ariana Redmond, who's been around for 6 years. She had a couple knee injuries. It's a winning class, and they just have figured out the way to win down the stretch as well.
Bobby Iddings is joining us. He had the call last night. Marshall women defeating Army in the WNIT. Had the call on ESPN+. Bobby, what's the difference between this Marshall team as we're currently seeing it and the Marshall team that struggled a bit in the Sun Belt Conference tournament?
Well, I think the big difference, and at this point, and I want to remind people, Marshall lost its second leading scorer in early January. Olivia Olson went down, tore up her knee in a game against Appalachian State. If she doesn't tear up her knee, who knows where this team ends up? Again, this is a team that still finished fifth. They're at 26 wins on the year, fifth in the Sun Belt Conference. But the big difference to hit on that is health. I think you look down the stretch, Peyton Ilderton's banged up. She's going to have some stuff go on after the season. Meredith Mayer was banged up in that conference tournament. Tamaya Lewis-Utsi. But again, and if you talk to Julie Folks about it, she's like, hey, but so is everybody. No one's not banged up when you get into March at this point. She's like, we've pretty much been going since April 1 of last year. That's when we kind of started our workouts, said, hey, this is what you need to work on. That's when their player meetings and things were. So she said, hey, like, we've been going nonstop. We've been with them every day since the beginning of September. And she's like, we've got to be able to understand that you're always not going to feel your best. And that's one thing. You watch this team, the team seems to really, really enjoy playing together. But the biggest thing was health. I mean, that team, when you saw them down in Pensacola, they were not healthy. It was not a healthy squad. And I think now that 16-day break it had between that South Alabama game on the 7th and the 23rd last week against UMBC in the WNIT, the team just had some time to get healthy. They got off their feet. And also the one big thing Julie Folks told me, they've shortened it down to 70-minute practices. That's all they're going every day. They come in, here's our plan for today. Here's what we're going to do. And at 70 minutes, we're done. She said, it's March. We're all exhausted. We just want to make sure that our best games or our best performances are coming in games rather than practices.
The Arkansas State Red Wolves are next for the Herd. Talk about that contest.
It's a fun one. So Arkansas State, Destiny Rogers, we saw them early back in the middle of January, middle of February 14th, it was Valentine's Day. These two teams have played. If you want to know how Arkansas State plays, just look at 2 seasons ago for Marshall. They play exactly like how Kim Caldwell played when she was at the helm for Marshall. They love to chuck up the 3. They love to press. They love to force turnovers. They'll go 10, 11, 12 deep. They'll go with what you saw from Kim Caldwell with the line changes, the hockey line changes, 5 in, 5 off all the time. They attempted 50 threes the last time these two teams played. So they will shoot the basketball. They will attempt the 3 from the outside. They're going to try and pressure you. Marshall was able to limit them to a score in the 50s last time. It's going to be really interesting to see. They had a great crowd last night for their matchup as well with Cleveland State. Just about 45 people more than what Marshall had last night as well. So it's going to be a really cool showcase in this WNIT for the Sunbelt women's basketball side.
8 o'clock tip-off tomorrow night. That game will be in Jonesboro. And not to get ahead of ourselves, if Marshall wins, they get to host, right, Bobby? Possibly?
I think that's the big question mark, right? It will all depend on the South Dakota, Illinois State side as well. It would be quite the turnaround to go from Huntington to Arkansas to South Dakota in that little bit of time.
Bobby Iddings, he had the call on ESPN Plus. He's a fellow WMUL alum. Bobby, appreciate it. Good call last night. Thanks for taking some time today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out Dr. Charles Bailey as well.
Bobby Iddings had the call on ESPN Plus last night. 304 Talk, 304 is the text line, 800-765-TALK, the phone number. We're back in a moment.
Getting ghosted is never fun, especially by your network. Cyber threats don't announce themselves. They slip in quietly, disrupt operations, and disappear before you know what happened. CityNet's cybersecurity services provide proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert response, so your business stays connected and protected. Commit to a relationship built on trust and reliability. Learn more at citynet.net today. And remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects.
WVU Medicine Nephrology is committed to providing advanced kidney care at its primary location in Morgantown's Suncrest Town Center, and also at outreach sites in Buchanan, Clarksburg, Elkins, Fairmont, Flatwoods, Grafton, Kaiser, Moorfield, and Summersville in West Virginia, and Oakland, Maryland. Our expert team of nephrologists use the latest diagnosis and treatment methods. Call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/nephrology.
If you have a child who's a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, please listen up. Here's your opportunity to win a full scholarship from West Virginia Wesleyan College that includes room, board, tuition, and fees. The 19th Annual West Virginia Scholar Program is presented by ZMM Architects and Engineers and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. The deadline is May 3rd. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. That's wvmetronews.com. Remember, application deadline is May 3rd.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not going to be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WVU Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WVU Medicine.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
The West Virginia Lottery is coming to a town near you with the Back to Roots promotion tour. 40 stops means 40 chances to win. Every $5 in-store purchase gets an entry for a chance to win cash and great prizes. So put on your best 80s gear and join the tour. Visit WVLottery.com for details. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Didn't have Dr. Charles Bailey getting a shout out on the bingo card today, but how about that from Bobby Iddings? Anybody who's come through the Marshall Journalism program, and particularly the radio program, knows Dr. Bailey, knows his class. Audio production, TJ, is one of the most feared classes in the Marshall Journalism program. Feared.
Why? Feared why?
Because it is it's difficult. It's difficult in a good way. You don't realize that until 10 years later. At the time, you're very irritated and angry about it, but it's difficult in a good way. Dr. B, let me tell you, we had to do story time with Uncle Dave while we have 2 minutes. We still had to do reel-to-reel editing in audio production when I was in college.
Really?
I don't think they do that anymore. And the first thing he would do, before he even listened to the tape, maybe it was the last thing he did. At some point, he would literally pull on your edits. And if they came apart, you failed. The rest of it didn't matter. Didn't matter how good how cleanly you edited that literal tape. Once they broke, you failed. Well, you can't play it if it's broke, he would say, something like that.
And just to be clear, I mean, you're not that old. Digital workstations were available.
Oh, yeah. But, someday you may have to get something off an old archive. You're going to need to know how to do this thing, was his reasoning at the time. And at which time, 22 years old, knew everything. I did have to splice edit at one time during my one time, TJ, I had to do it in my professional career. So I guess it paid off.
Well, I remember, way back in the day on WVAQ, Paul Turner Productions, they used to send the imaging on reel-to-reel, and this was still in 2003.
Remember carts? The old carts, if you recorded over the splice in there, how bad it would sound. You had to erase the carts, put new sound on them. Back in the day, stories with Dave and TJ. All right.
I bet there's not a reel in this building now. Maybe in the basement.
They're in the building, but A, nobody knows where they are, and B, we couldn't play them if we wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Story time's over. Coming up, how the FBI Center in Clarksburg is driving the economy in North Central West Virginia. And what about those future jobs? This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Hoppy Kercheval, 5:55 a.m. How early did you get in that day, by the way?
Probably 3:30.
How long did you do sign-on shift?
I signed on 7 years.
Not all.
6 days a week for 7 years.
Lightweight.
I know. Couldn't do it now. Now when I wake up at 3:30 to go to the bathroom. And go back to bed.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com on a Wednesday, and I apologize because Stephanie Pauly is our producer, one of the producers of the show, and normally she has everything. We have a thing we call the run sheet, when we have who we're calling and what we're doing and so on. And Stephanie, I don't even know whether you know this. I did the run sheet today, and I put the wrong date on. I put 2025 on it, because how many of us in modern day actually write the date out anymore? I mean, you did it when you were in school, you did it back when people wrote checks and whatever. This may have been the first day that I have written the date down, and I was responsible for putting together the sheet. And my co-host, the lovely and talented AB, starts the show by saying January 24th, 2025, because she read it directly off the sheet. And it is indeed the year of our Lord, 2026.
Oh, yeah, he did find something out. Something, you're related to Thomas Jefferson?
Well, I'm not related to Thomas Jefferson, but I am related to Samuel Kercheval, who was a historian.
I'm going to tell you something about Samuel Kercheval. Him and Jefferson out smoking corn silk. Kercheval told him, Thomas, I don't know about this country. Might want to start again.
He could.
So I don't have a monitor here, so I really can't see what happens at the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. So at what point do I pop up? When the music starts and Mr. Announcer comes on?
Yeah.
So they see all the little panic things that I do that I'm still in the process of setting up?
Yes. They see you shuffle about uncomfortably. They see you blow the dust off your headphones. They see you put in like 2 cough drops at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I don't do 2 at the same time. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know that. I should probably. Now, these shows are archived, right? So I can go back and watch them.
Yes.
So I could live this show in real time and then go home and, when I say something to Linda like, hey, did you hear when I did this? And I don't watch it. Well, let's get in front of the TV and watch me do it again for 3 straight hours.
Yes, it's archived just like the audio podcast.
Ah, that's right.
And see, this is the thing that gets the NCAA in trouble, when it goes to court here. Is there a clock or not? Greg, we talk about the clock all the time. Mm-hmm. If he began in 2019, the clock should have run out, whether he's played the 4 years or not. And that's part of the argument, because some guys go right through the clock, right? TJ Finley, we've mentioned many times on this show. 7th team coming up this year. He's playing for Incarnate Word. He's played 7 seasons at 7 different schools. Now, why hasn't his clock started? Why doesn't he have the 5-year clock? So if you're Aguilar, I get it.
He just bouncing him off the ropes. Somebody save this man. Oh, my Lord. Oh. Very nice, very nice. He hit him with everything he didn't want.
Yeah. 10 seconds remaining.
There'll be a direct snap here.
Snap back. It's Tyler. Tyler fakes the run. He throws. He's got an open man. Pass top 10. 5. End zone. It's a touchdown. Pulled in by Nestor. 3 seconds left.
Are you kidding me with the play call right there by Kevin Whiteman? Again, forget the game-winning field goal. Whiteman says, we're going to try and win this thing right now. The direct snap to Tyler sucked everybody up, and Nestor slips behind. What an unbelievable gutsy play call, and then perfect execution by these Falcons.
Things aren't always going to be great. And sometimes, you can work really, really hard and it's still not great. You're still not successful. But, if you continue to do it, one way or another, things are going to be, work out. You're going to be successful. And it may not be in the world's eyes, but, God's made us this way. He's blessed us with so many things. And I think that's one of our attributes that we need to have is we're going to continue to work. We're going to continue to work hard. And if it doesn't work out exactly how we want, just keep plugging away because God's got better plans.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Thank you for being part of our day. If you're listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state, or if you're watching on the MetroNews television app, Facebook Live, YouTube, we appreciate you being part of this program. You can weigh in on anything we are talking about, anything we're not talking about at 304-TALK-304. That is the text line, and you can always give us a buzz at 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. With all the talk about data centers, there's actually a push by some residents in Ohio to slow the development and even stop the development of data centers. Fox's Jeff Monosso will join us coming up next segment to explain. And later on, TJ and I will get into this discussion. We've had this discussion in some form a couple of times already. But Mike Rowe, remember the dirty jobs guy? Mike Rowe was talking about jobs of the future, the skilled trades, electricians, and how all of this can tie into data centers. No, Mike Rowe's not going to join us, but we'll use that as the impetus to get into this discussion coming up bottom of the hour. Morning, TJ.
Morning. Mike Rowe's a great American. Let me just say, great American.
Great. He took that idea of dirty jobs. Think about the idea of dirty jobs that he went to, cable executives with. Hey, I'm going to go around. I'm going to tell the stories of these people that do these jobs that nobody else wants to do. Yeah, and then that turns into a hit television show, which kind of spawns off a couple of other things. He's got the Mike Rowe Works Foundation, which gives scholarships to people pursuing the skilled trades. So anyway, I like Mike Rowe is the short version of that.
Yeah, brilliant. Keen business mind as well. Brilliant.
Not to mention a heck of a set of pipes on the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can only hope to get that kind of low voice like Mike Rowe does. Can't do it. Can't even try, even though I just did. So that's all coming up bottom of the hour. The FBI's Criminal Justice Information Services Division in North Central West Virginia, or as we call it up here in North Central West Virginia, the FBI Center in Clarksburg continues to serve as one of the region's largest employers and one of the region's drivers in the local economy. The Assistant Director for the FBI Criminal Justice Information Services Division is Tim Ferguson. He joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Tim, good morning. Thanks for taking some time.
Good morning, and I will second that motion that Mike Rowe is a great American.
All right, motion carries. On to the next matter of business. Tim, we've had the FBI Center. We just call it the FBI Center for short up here in North Central West Virginia. It's been here for some time, but how has it continued to be a major player in the economy in this part of the state?
That's a great question. The center's been here for over 30 years. And to your point, which is it's the FBI Center, right? As it's known around this area, the Criminal Justice Information Services Division has been here serving both law enforcement and the public for over 30 years. And, we continue to build on that. We're looking at ways in which we can expand the center to try to increase what we're putting into the economy with adding more people here, moving more people into this area. And as I mentioned before, we serve the public and law enforcement millions of times every single day. Our services are used across the country and globally.
Give us a sense of what goes on there, Tim, because I don't think the public, I certainly didn't until a few weeks ago, I don't think the public has a deep understanding of everything and how deep and how vast the array of services are at that facility.
Yeah, and I think people would be very proud if they did. And I appreciate the opportunity to kind of vocalize the work that we do out here. One of the big things that we do here in this division is we serve as a central repository for all tips coming to the FBI. So it used to be where tips would go into the local field offices, but now it's all centralized here in North Central West Virginia at CJIS. So over 5,500 calls and e-tips come into our center every single day. And we have threat intake examiners that are folks that are professionals that are receiving these calls and e-tips, that are triaging this information, doing investigative work, and then sending it out to the local field offices and local PDs for action. In addition to that, most people who go to purchase a firearm recognize that they have to do a firearms background check. This division hosts the National Instant Background Check System, or NICS. And so millions of times a year where individuals are trying to purchase a firearm, we adjudicate those background checks here. And again, proud to say that over 92% of the time when you're at the gun counter, those transactions are adjudicated in 11 minutes or less. So we've become more and more efficient with the use of automation, with the use of emerging technologies. And so in addition to that, so if you think about being pulled over by a police officer, and the police officer's running database checks on your license plate or your driver's license, our system here is queried over 10 million times per day by law enforcement to make sure that our officers are going home safe at night. So we pride ourselves in the fact that we're serving the American public, but we're also serving our law enforcement partners millions of times every single day.
Talking to Tim Ferguson, he is Assistant Director, FBI Criminal Justice Information Services, FBI Center in Clarksburg. Tim, how much success over the years have you had recruiting new employees right here in North Central West Virginia?
So we've had some amazing success. As you mentioned earlier at the top of the show, we're one of the largest employers in North Central West Virginia. My division alone has almost 3,000 individuals, and then we have other representatives from other divisions that sit here on our campus. So we've been very lucky to be able to recruit very heavily in our area. Now, I'm proud to say I meet every new employee that comes in and through our doors, and most of them are native West Virginians. I'm very proud of that, but we're always trying to expand our reach to get some more individuals from outside the West Virginia area, but where we have a very strong West Virginia presence, not only here at CJIS Division, but folks that come into this division, they do great work, they learn amazing skills, and then they're moved to other places across the FBI and take their West Virginia roots all across the United States. But we have some amazing recruiting efforts that go on here. We're going to be recruiting again here in the next week or two. And so I would encourage folks to go to FBIjobs.gov and look for opportunities to come to the CJIS Division, because we're always looking for fresh faces to come in and bring new ideas and help us grow.
Expand on that a bit. People think, oh, I could be an agent. What else is there? There's a lot more. Expand on that.
You're absolutely right. And that's one of the things that we try to talk about when we talk about our recruiting efforts. Not only do we have folks that are agents that work here, but we talk about people that do gun background checks. We talk about people that train our law enforcement partners. We talk about the ones that take the calls and e-tips that come in from the public. And not only that, we also have, and Mike Rowe would be very happy, we have a lot of dirty jobs that go on here. We have to run this facility every single day. We generate enough power here to power 4,400 homes every single day. And so we need electricians, we need engineers, we need people that are going to come over here and help us clear the snow whenever the snow falls. So we have photojournalists. We have lots of folks that come over here that have many different jobs. That this basically is like a mini city here in North Central West Virginia. And so we're always looking for different types of folks to come in and fulfill those job roles.
What does the future hold for that campus and the facility there in Harrison County?
So I'm really excited to say that the budget that was signed recently by the president at the end of January required the CJIS Division to conduct a study to expand the CJIS campus. And so we have to conduct a study for 180 days and report back to Congress how we would bring more folks, to pump more infrastructure into this facility so we could expand our reach. And of course, what we know that we have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of pay and benefits the employees here in this campus have that are injected into the local economy. And so we're excited to see where that's going to go. And of course, we want to work very closely with our state and local partners, because we want to make sure that it's a comprehensive approach to adding more people to the facility so that we can look at what it's going to look like outside the facility as well as what's going to happen inside the facility when we expand. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
It's always interesting to think back and remember the genesis of how something started. Tim, if you can't think back, what was in play 30 years ago when the FBI decided they wanted to be here? And do those values, those benefits that the FBI saw, do those still exist today? And that's why the government is thinking about adding more services in Clarksburg?
I think so. I do think that the vision of the folks that came out here to this campus and to this area, and of course, we have to thank our senators and representatives from West Virginia that were able to push the FBI to think about West Virginia to be the home of the new Center for Biometrics and Identity Management. I mentioned earlier the things that we do here. Some people don't know that we also hold the world's largest law enforcement biometrics database here with tens of millions of fingerprints and iris images. And so I think when we talk about the world of identification and where we wanted to go, I'm appreciative that the folks 30, 40 years ago said, North Central West Virginia is where we want to go, is where we want to be. And, I wasn't here whenever before this facility was built, but I do know that there are employees that were here and that grew up here in the Clarksburg, Bridgeport area. They know what this area was like before the FBI Center came here, and they know what it's like now. And so we're looking to expand on that. We want to continue to inject that into the economy and make this area bigger and better than it ever has been.
And Tim, we've been talking a lot about data centers and AI and the future growth and expansion, and it seems a facility like this that's already situated in Harrison County is going to be critically important as the technology advances, as we get more digital footprint. This is going to be a critically important facility for years to come in the future, and is only going to expand.
100%. One of the things that we do here that I failed to mention earlier is that our information technology infrastructure here is phenomenal. We have wonderful, phenomenal, fantastic IT specialists that are here helping us to look at emerging technologies and where we're going into the future. We talk about data centers. We're working to transition our systems into the cloud. We're looking at emerging technologies to make us better and more efficient so we can serve the folks in the public and our law enforcement partners better and faster than we ever have. And we think about this, technology is only going to get better. When we think about, we look at our iPhones now. I remember when I first came into the FBI, I think I had a pager. As a special agent, I was carrying a pager, and then we had the Nextels, and I thought, this is great. We have a Nextel. We can push to talk, and how can it ever get any better than this? And honestly, I think one of the worst things that could have ever happened was a BlackBerry was created, and I can all of a sudden get my emails 24/7. And the technology continues to increase and get better. And now we have in the palm of our hand more computing power than it took to send a man to the moon in the 1960s. And so we think about it's continually going to get better. And so that's the reason why we need to expand in this area, because we need to bring more of that emerging technology and the more artificial intelligence to the people that we serve.
Tell us a bit about your career. You talked about coming into the FBI. How did you start? What have you done, and to bring you to where you are now?
Yeah, I came into the FBI in 2002, right after 9/11, and I worked in Southwest Ohio and primarily worked in narcotics and gang investigations as a special agent. And I worked my way up through the career ladder to where I'm at right now. I've served in a number of different field offices across the country. I've been blessed to be able to serve in the Operational Technology Division at Quantico. So kind of getting to see where we were at before with technology with regard to the FBI, where we need to go and where we're going. And to be able to bring that expertise here to North Central West Virginia, where I found a home here several years ago. And again, one of the things that I'm very passionate about this division, because this is one of the best, if not the best, division I've ever served in, with the people who are so committed to making sure that we're serving the American public and we're serving our law enforcement partners and ensuring our law enforcement partners go home safe every night. So I'm very passionate about the work, and I get excited when I come in here because of the folks that live here, that work here. They're excited about the mission, they're passionate about it, and they do phenomenal work.
He's Tim Ferguson, Assistant Director, FBI Criminal Justice Information Services. We call it the FBI Center in Clarksburg. Tim, we appreciate you coming on, and thank you for the time today.
Thank you.
Tim Ferguson, FBI Criminal Justice Information Services Assistant Director. Coming up, Jeff Monosso will join us. The push in Ohio to actually curb data center development. Also, what about the jobs that could be possible with the development of data centers? We'll get into that as well. Also, some news and notes to pass along. Governor Morrissey's coming up on a deadline for all those bills that he has not signed yet. We'll talk about it all as we continue. 304-TALK, 304 the text line, and 800-765-TALK, the phone number. When it comes to cybersecurity, blind trust is a bad idea. CityNet helps businesses avoid risky connections with proactive monitoring, threat detection, and expert local support. Learn more at citynet.net today. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
Golf Week called Pete Dye Golf Club one of America's best modern courses. Golf Digest recently called Pete Dye one of America's 100 greatest courses, and Pete Dye calls it 18 of the most exciting and memorable holes I've ever built on one course. Pete Dye Golf Club invites you to join the only course named after the legendary designer himself. National, corporate, and local memberships available now for a limited time. Visit PeteDye.com to learn more. Come play where the Mountaineers play at Pete Dye Golf Club.
Senator Shelley Moore Capito is more than a true conservative and proud West Virginian. She's a champion of our way of life. She doesn't just fight, she delivers, working with President Trump to close the border and keep our families safe, protect our energy jobs, and cut taxes, and establishing the New River Gorge National Park, a powerful economic engine. Shelley Moore Capito, our senator, our champion.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Stay connected to what's happening today in West Virginia.
What about this and what about that? And it just went back and forth. And I was just the guy reading the text. Okay, so what's your take on the whole thing?
Well, now you just get me fired up. Now
right.
you just
So I'm gonna turn on. I'm gonna run down to Wendy's and grab a burger, and I'll be back.
Join Dave Allen weekdays for midday on Metro News Television.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WBB Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WBB Medicine.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
We've been talking a lot about data center development here in West Virginia. Google announcing that it's purchased 1,700 acres in Putnam County. There's a proposed data center in Berkeley County, one in Tucker County, just to name a few of the projects that we know. We know there are more in the works. Over in Ohio, though, voters might be on the verge of doing something dramatic, banning most data centers in the state through a constitutional amendment. Joining us on Metro News Talkline this morning is Fox News Radio's Jeff Monosso. Jeff, good morning. What's got our neighbors across the river all worked up?
Well, they I mean, look, you mentioned 1,700 acres. It's been swallowed up by one of the major companies to build one of these data centers. I mean, they're environmental nuisances. That's one of the complaints. They use an enormous amount of energy, straining electrical grids. They also use a ton of water for cooling, with worries about community impact, and including skyrocketing utility rates, and arguments being made that data centers are also being subsidized to convert precious local land, including farmland. And so Voters in Ohio, just like in West Virginia, just like in states across the country, and in small towns and big cities, they're coming together, and they've been complaining, or they've been trying to do their research, and now what they're doing is a grassroots effort to get a constitutional amendment on the November ballot that essentially would effectively ban the construction of most new large-scale data centers in Ohio. The state's a top 5 state for data centers with over 200 facilities, along with rapid expansion plans from major players, including Amazon, Meta, Google, Microsoft, and others, driven by this AI demand. And so Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost has now certified petition language that would prohibit construction of data centers larger than 25 megawatts, which is most of them. Now, organizers will have until July to collect 413,000 signatures from at least half of Ohio's 88 counties to get the measure on the November ballot.
Is there any realization that if data centers are banned, that Ohio may have to go without key infrastructure to provide that AI, or do they expect other states to host these data centers and they'll still continue to benefit from artificial intelligence?
Well, 200 data centers is a lot of data centers. Most states don't even have half of that. Elon Musk has said that data centers are a waste, that ultimately they're not going to be needed in the future. He's a pretty smart guy. He seems to know what he's talking about, but we'll see. I mean, that's then. This is now, and there's a race to put these massive giga plants up. But there are lots of questions over who's going to pay for it, particularly the power. I know President Trump during his State of the Union talked about getting promises from these companies that they're going to be self-sufficient. However, people in Ohio, they want more than that. And some communities in Ohio have already banned huge data centers by simply removing data processing services, for example, from zoning regulations. But lawmakers in at least 11 states have introduced legislation proposing temporary bans or at least moratoria until environmental, energy, and economic impact studies have been done. And 30 states have also created or are actively passing laws and regulations requiring data centers to pay for their own energy, infrastructure, and consumption, aiming to prevent the costs from being trickled down to ratepayers at home.
That going on the other side of the river. We'll continue to watch that intently on our side of the river. Fox News Radio's Jeff Monosso. Jeff, we appreciate the details. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Here's an opportunity, I think, TJ, for West Virginia. Learn from the mistakes of others. Learn from the mistakes that Virginia made, and Jim Estep highlighted those from the High Technology Foundation when we spoke to him about how the companies went in, plugged right into municipal water systems, created issues. Learn from what Ohio's doing. Learn from the mistakes, and maybe we can beat them. Are we going to have 200 data centers? No. Can we have several that benefit West Virginia overall, be a net positive? I believe we can, but we got to learn from other people's mistakes.
And we're probably not going to have land for 200, but let's say we get 20.
Sure.
Can you imagine the revenue boost? We talk about it all the time, Dave. We talk about more people here, more people working. We've failed to get more people here. We've failed to get more people working. Okay, these things don't bring a lot of jobs, although I wouldn't sneeze at 400 jobs that are being talked about in Putnam County. But what do they bring? They bring money. This morning, we're talking about schools. I heard on another program here locally in Kanawha County having to lay off teachers because we don't have enough money. What fixes that? More money. You can't have it both ways, folks, and we have to do something. I haven't heard a better alternative.
We will talk about some of those jobs that TJ mentioned when we come back, other side of the news break. Plus, Governor Morrissey up against a deadline. Appropriately enough, it's tomorrow. We'll get into that as well. Your texts are waiting. We will not ignore all of them. Some of them we might, but not all of them. 800-765-TALK is the phone number, and 304-TALK-304 is the text line. This is Talkline on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It is 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. Attorneys for the State Board of Education claim a Raleigh County judge made 6 key errors when he ruled against the state's mandatory vaccine program. Now, they've laid out their case in briefs filed before the Supreme Court, and Brad McElhaney tells us there's plenty more paperwork before this can get to the argument phase.
By May 11th, attorneys for the families seeking religious exemptions to West Virginia's mandatory school vaccinations law are supposed to file their own brief. And by June 1st, the attorneys for the State Board of Education will have one more opportunity to reply in writing.
And you can read more. Brad writes about it today at WBMetroNews.com. The obituary for a Preston High School student reveals more about his death. 17-year-old Hunter Hoover of Brewston Mills died on Sunday of what was described as a gunshot accident. The teen was due to graduate from Preston High School in May. The school first announced his death on its Facebook page over the weekend and says counselors and support staff are on hand to speak with students or staff who may need to talk about the loss. A preliminary hearing, it will be this afternoon in McDowell County Magistrate Court for Mount View High School teacher Tyree Baker. The 27-year-old Baker was arrested last week on multiple counts tied to allegations of sexual misconduct with a student. You're listening to Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia.
Come on, Liam, let's go. Get open. Come on, go for it. Wake up. Wake up, Liam. Oh, come on, use your head. Gotta want it. Dominate.
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the WVSSAC and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
The DOH says a new traffic pattern will begin on a well-known I-64 bridge tomorrow. Previous lane closures on the bridge at Sandstone over the New River will be shifted over to the fast lanes to allow for continued renovation work. The closure will last through October. Now, officials say the eastbound 64 ramp at exit 139 will be closed during this period of time, and anyone wanting to get off onto Route 20 should follow the posted detour signs. It's about a 10 to 12-minute delay. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
Talk 304 is the text line. The weather is going to tease you just a little bit this week, make you think it's boating season. Not quite yet. Still pretty cold out on the water. Although I did see some guys doing a little bass fishing last weekend as I was driving by the river. At any rate, it is in your best interest to check out all the wide inventory of pontoon boats and bass boats, just to name a few, at LouWendellMarineSales.com, because once the weather breaks and it's time to get out on the water, you don't want to be left behind. LouWendellMarineSales.com to see the entire inventory. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. A couple of texts before we get into our next topic. Dave and TJ, the key to this expanding revenue is to make certain it is reinvested into infrastructure such as clean water protection, sewer projects, roads. Let's not waste it. It's still state government. I agree with you, but I mean, it's still government.
We have needs. We can all agree on that.
The 400 jobs for the Putnam County Data Center will be in India. No, they won't. No, they won't. And here's why. It's a physical place, which kind of leads us into our next subject. It's a physical place. It's going to require, construction jobs, but there will need to be people who maintain these types of facilities. And TJ, you came across this interview and flagged it. Mike Rowe, everybody knows as the Dirty Jobs guy, set this up a little bit. He was on Fox News recently.
Yeah, he was on Fox News, and look, he knows where the jobs are that people are hands-on. That's what he advocates for. I believe he's brought dignity back to work, frankly, Dave, in promoting all of these jobs and ways, especially our young children as they grow to adults, careers that they can have, those who are more mechanically inclined and want to work with their hands. That's why I say he's a great American. But he was talking specifically about data centers and the very high wage that a data center electrician could make. Jake, if we have it, go ahead and roll it.
Mike, you've met with data center electricians in Texas. They're under 30 and they're making $200,000 a year. They don't have any college debt. Why do you think that some schools dismiss skilled trades as kind of a consolation prize? Why do they do that?
Two things. The electricians that I met most recently at a data center in Plano were making $260,000 a year. It's true they had no debt, but the most consequential component of that meeting was the fact that all three of them had been poached 3 times in the prior 18 months. That's what's going on in certain parts of the country in the electric game right now. It's like the draft in the major leagues.
What an opportunity, Dave. $260,000. Now, even if he's half wrong and they're only making $130,000, how many multiples is that over what the average wage, the median wage here is in West Virginia? I think the household is what, 55 to 60 now, somewhere in that ballpark. This is a great opportunity. And folks want to talk about the small number of jobs. Oh, it's only 400 jobs, which I wouldn't sneeze at, especially with 6-figure wages. We talk about good jobs in West Virginia, people waiting on better opportunity. Here it is, my friend.
And here's an opportunity. If you take a deep dive in some of the research, TJ, and I'll bring this around full circle, what people think and what they actually believe, and you look at what people in Gen Z, I guess they're of hiring age, what they're looking for in their work is not necessarily prestige. It's not even necessarily the 6-figure salaries. They're looking for meaningful work, and that doesn't necessarily mean Greenpeace. You know, you don't have to be out with Russell Dalrymple saving the whales, but you're looking for something you can put your hands on. You just don't want to be data entry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Electrician, the skilled trades are that. You can put your hands on it, whether you're building bridges, you're building houses, you're working on. It's something you can look at the end of the day and say, this is what I have accomplished. Now bring this back to the data centers. Not only do they offer the opportunity for the skilled trades, they offer careers, TJ, with good paying salaries that you can take care of your family. You can put your kids through school. These are the opportunities that these developments offer. Sure, there are negatives. We need to talk about those. But these are the type of opportunities I think and I believe we are on the brink of if we can pull it all together here in West Virginia.
I agree completely. There is a stigma, and it is wrong. It's horrible, but for some reason, somewhere along the line, there became a stigma about the trades or working with your hands. Everybody's got to go to college. Nonsense. Complete and utter nonsense. Welders. How much dough does a welder make? Especially if you're a skilled welder that can do underwater welding. I remember I was introduced to that a few years back. My goodness, what a lucrative career that is in front of folks that go into those fields. And to your point, there was a study. It was either a Princeton or a Harvard psychologist and economist got together. Dave, you may have heard of it. It's been 20 years ago now, so the numbers have probably changed. But they talked about the sweet spot where once you make over a certain amount of money, and I think it was somewhere around $65,000 to $70,000, if I recall. Again, because of inflation, I'm sure those numbers have changed. But once you get over that, the oomph that you get from money, the added satisfaction, it's just not there. It becomes about meaning. Once you can meet your basic needs, it becomes about meaning in what you're doing and getting up every day. And for folks that want to work with their hands, that want to be on the cutting edge and want to do something meaningful in a new industry, what a great opportunity. And that's what we need more of here. The other part of it, my friend, we have to rise to the challenge because, frankly, we know we have a workforce participation problem in this state. And it goes back years, and it's a mentality. And we need to make sure that our generations that are coming up now, go above and beyond that, get out of that trap, and want to avail themselves of these kinds of opportunities. We're talking with the FBI. One of the things they would tell you we didn't get into, they want to start recruiting kids in middle school, high school, once they go and get them into those jobs, which they should be doing.
That's exactly where both you have opportunity and that trap starts of, I can't do this thing because I'm living in whatever county. I'm not going to pick on anybody today. I mean, I live in this county. I can't do that. I can't. Well, sure you can. Why can't you be an electrician? If you can start that in middle school and present these opportunities. Look, as far as I know, I mean, AI will probably take our job one day, but you're still going to need an electrician to fix the AI at some point. You're still going to need a plumber. You're still going to need somebody to build these buildings, at least until the machines become, cognizant and start taking over, Skynet. That's what will happen, right? Terminator. But until that point, which I hope is a few years down, you're going to need these things. You're going to need these guys and girls to get into the skilled trades. And these opportunities, I think, are going to be there in Putnam County, Tucker County, and Berkeley County, and more.
Yeah, the future of work is going to shift. I still maintain, I believe AI will be a tool. And I like to tell people, put a bunch of shovels in the front yard, but if nobody picks them up and digs a hole, you got nothing. I still think AI will be a tool. Yes, it will change work and how people interact and what level of work they undertake. But I don't think it's the boogeyman necessarily that everyone makes it out to be. But with the physical things that you're talking about, I mean, I have to tell you, I think there is extraordinary opportunity for someone to either go in and work for a big corporate like a Google as an electrician, or let's say you want to hang a shingle. You want to work for yourself. Great opportunity in that too. Put a little business education with it. You're in business for yourself. We have to get to that point where we're meeting our children where they are and what their bents are and focus on those outcomes. And we're doing some of that. I think we could do more of it.
Think about, and this thought just occurred to me, TJ, AI as a tool for the small business owner. And what's the small business owner complain the most about? Not complain, but they like to do the thing they started the business to do, whether that's construction, landscaping, restaurant, they hate doing the business side of it. The paper. Yeah. Just imagine if you have that AI as a tool that allows you as a business owner to do the thing that you got in the business to do in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the applications we're talking about here. At least I think we have with this moving forward. And having all of that concentrated here, right here.
I think you're spot on. And Jim talked about this earlier in the show. Remember, he was talking about the agentic web and these agents. What I took away from that was if Dave's electric service wires a guy's house up and you love doing that, but you don't want to worry about the billing or the invoicing, you go to your AI agent and you say, hey, I wired so-and-so's house. I spent X amount of labor on it. Here's my multiple. Create an invoice and email it over so I get paid. That's the future. And to your point, you can do what you want to do and outsource the rest.
So rather than sitting there for hours after you've actually done the job, doing the paperwork, you're out at the kids' ball game. Maybe you're out doing a little bow hunting in the evening rather than having to do invoices at night.
Well, if we're smart, because these things, I'm holding up my MacBook right now, all of this technology was supposed to make us work less. That didn't happen.
Well, that never has that ever really happened?
But is that technology's fault? Or is that generations past? Is it their fault and their mentality and how they looked at things?
Of course, it's always the past generation's fault. What are you talking about? 304-TALK, 304, that's the text line. Ron, we'll get to your call next. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Coal-based generation remains the backbone of West Virginia's energy portfolio, ensuring reliability, security, and affordable electricity throughout the region. Our coal plants are engineered for performance, designed to run most efficiently at or near a 70% capacity factor. This level of operation is not arbitrary. It's based on sound engineering principles scientific analysis, and has been formally adopted by the West Virginia legislature as a reasonable target for optimal performance. When our coal fleet operates near that benchmark, it provides stable power to the grid, maintains cost efficiency, and supports thousands of good-paying jobs across our state. Coal generation also drives local tax revenue that sustains schools, infrastructure, and community services. Working in partnership with state leaders and the Trump administration, we're ensuring that our coal fleet remains modern, efficient, and ready to power West Virginia and beyond for decades to come. This message brought to you by the West Virginia Coal Association and Friends of Coal.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
With Metro News Hotline. If it's trending, it's probably here.
And then the other thing, his last name is one of those weird Norwegian names where they have two vowels that slam into each other. It's like the A and the E are like cemented into each other.
You're like the 12th Dave that works here. What do you think people from Norwegian think about that?
That is fair.
Join Dave Weekly and Coop weekdays for Hotline on Metro News Television.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304-TALK, 304 the text line, and 800-765-TALK, the phone number. Let's go to Ron in Beckley. Hey, Ron.
Hello, gentlemen. I was listening to you talk a little bit about what I think is the past stigma that was associated with career and technical institutions. And I really think in public education in particular, in my observation, we have overcome that. I'm predominantly retired, but I'll still be in technical schools in Raleigh and Fayette County. And I'm seeing more kids want to get into those slots, and they have slots. And those institutions can absorb more resources and meet more needs, in my opinion. And I just thought that'd be some good news I could share with people.
Well, that's good, Ron, because, look, my generation is the one where in school you were pushed. Shop class was taken out of schools. It was put in the vote. It was put in the VOTEC centers. You weren't even exposed to this. And in worst case scenarios, you had influential adults, let's say, point to people who are doing hard, honest work and go, if you don't have good grades and go to college, that's what you're going to. It was a negative. It was a punishment almost, Ron. And I'm glad we've overcome that stigma a couple of decades after the fact, after when we came through. That's what it was when I came through public schools.
Yeah, I really believe we have, and I'm seeing that in enrollment data where kids want to get in those programs.
What do you think caused it, Ron? How did we get over it?
Well, reality of, hey, I need a job, and hey, how much are you making? I remember talking to a kid that was literally, it's a long story, too long for radio, but he was literally making more as an electrician working in the board office than the counselor that told him not to go to vocational school. And the momentum of reality has changed that.
Well, hey, Ron, we appreciate the phone call. Thanks for the good news this morning. We appreciate it, buddy. All right, Ron in Beckley. 304 Talk 304. Do more research. This is not Texas. 400 construction jobs that go to out-of-state Google contractors. Only about 10 people operating a data center. Nowhere close to $260,000 for electricians. Here, Invent is paying $25 an hour. Nothing to sneeze at, but not $260K, says the pessimistic texter.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But look, it's not 400 construction jobs. It's a couple thousand construction jobs. It's 400 permanent jobs is what has been teased. So I want to make sure we understand that distinction. But, okay, even if it's $25 an hour, that's better than a lot of the opportunities we have now.
Well, I think you said it pretty well. Even if Mike Rowe in that soundbite is half wrong.
Yeah.
$130K job, $130K a year job in West Virginia. That's good. It's good living. You're going to be able to take care of yourself at that salary. Dave and TJ, will data centers be military targets in the event of war? Asks the texter. I have no idea. You know what? If they're hitting targets in West Virginia, we've got huge problems. Let's just go with that.
Well, I think in cyber warfare, they absolutely would be. I think in physical warfare, there is something to be said about the protection, the camouflage that these mountains provide us. I mean, in the FBI piece, we didn't get into this, but one of the reasons they were here is because, look, it wasn't coastal, it was inland, it was away from larger cities, less of a target. So, I mean, there could be some upside.
There was a reason they picked the Greenbrier Resort for the Doomsday Bunker back in the 50s. By the way, you know what that is now, don't you? A data center. Just saying. 304 Talk 304. It is. It is. Water truck drivers in North Central West Virginia make over $100,000 a year, plus great benefits. I bet they do. No doubt in my mind. And then just off of that, you got diesel mechanics, et cetera, et cetera. Job at the FBI center is not that easy to get. It's not like you just put in an application and go for an interview. You usually have to know the right person, and it's a long, drawn-out process that people who will be qualified for oftentimes get left out, says the texter.
I will say this. The last few weeks, we haven't talked about it, Dave, but I've been enrolled in the FBI Citizens Academy.
Oh, yeah.
So on Monday nights, I spend about 2.5 hours, and I learn about the FBI, and it's been fascinating. We've talked counterterrorism. We've talked counterintelligence. We've talked crimes against children. You name it. This facility came up as well. One of the things I have learned in talking with the vast amount of people they have put in front of us, they are actively recruiting and younger, and they want to talk to people. They want to talk to everybody. They have 580 plus job titles in the FBI. So not dismissing what this person is saying. I get it. But I think if you take a look, it may be a little easier than what you think.
Texter says the FBI center is here due to one word. I guess it's technically one word, can be one word. Robert C. Byrd, says the texter.
Well, he brought it home, didn't he?
Sure did. Just asking, what makes Mike, I suppose you're assuming, Mike Rowe, great American? Well, look, I enjoyed the show one. We got to take a quick break here, but he's highlighted the jobs that nobody else wanted to do, and rather than pointing to them as a punitive repercussion for you being a bad student, he's highlighted them as possible career opportunities. And these are the men and women who make the country run. It ain't us two, that's for sure. You can do without us.
Great American.
You can't do without the guy or the girl that picks up your garbage or fixes your car when it breaks down. Or, makes hamburgers for you. I could really go for a cheeseburger right now, just saying. All right, final break. We'll wrap things up when we return. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Looking for a career that truly matters? Healthcare offers stability, great benefits, and careers that are in demand right now. From patient care to technology and support roles, healthcare careers offer flexibility and opportunity. Not sure where you fit? Take the quick healthcare career quiz at explorehealthcareerswv.com. Discover the path that's right for you. Healthcare careers, where passion meets purpose.
Looking to advance your career without putting life on hold? Earn your MBA from Glenville State University in as little as 18 months. Choose from in-demand concentrations like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and healthcare administration. Whether you're leading teams, analyzing data, or protecting digital systems, our programs are designed for working professionals who want flexibility and results. Take the next step with an MBA from Glenville State University. Learn more and apply today at glenville.edu.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
When I was heavy, being on my feet all day seemed like torture. Makes you feel defeated. I'm just gonna be like this for the rest of my life. But then I thought, I'm done acting like that. I'm not gonna be like that anymore. Bariatric surgery at WBB Medicine helped me lose 265 pounds. It's always been my goal to have my own place. I want everyone to feel welcome here. I would never have been able to do all these things before without WBB Medicine.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
The West Virginia Lottery is coming to a town near you with a Back to Roots promotion tour. 40 stops means 40 chances to win. Every $5 in-store purchase gets an entry for a chance to win cash and great prizes. So put on your best 80s gear and join the tour. Visit WVLottery.com for details. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Just quickly before we hit the road for the day, Governor Morrissey is up against the deadline. Tomorrow is the deadline to act on bills passed by the legislature. He can either sign them, he can ignore them, and they'll become law without a signature, or he can veto them. So we are waiting on him. He's got, a little over 100 bills, I think, to act on at this point.
Sounds right.
Give or take. Yesterday, in fact, it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock last night? He tweeted.
Prime time.
Yeah, it was prime time. Tweeted about the high school transfer bill. Very cryptic, didn't say what he was going to do, but certainly caught the attention of high school sports fans across the state last night. So
just do what you're going to do. Just do what you're going to do. Sign it, don't sign it, let it become law, veto it, do what you're going to do.
See, there's that bill hanging out there. I mean, most of these, there's the EMS bill. That's got some people, curious, that $12 million in funding for EMS agencies. The AARP's kiosk bill is still there. The tax cut bill hasn't even been signed yet, which, okay. I guess there's some due diligence you got to do there, but tomorrow's the deadline. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about it tomorrow because we're out of time. By contract, we have to let Dave Allen talk for the next 3 hours. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.